Oakland, and I don't know. I don't know about Elway as an executive. I know he survived the Tebow mania, and he did have a bloodless coup when he replaced Tebow with Peyton Manning. But they loaded up on all this defensive talent, and Aqib Talib had a terrible game. Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware couldn't even put a finger on Andrew Luck in that game, and there they are again. Mm-hmm. And if Peyton doesn't come back, I know that they said that Peyton had that torn quadriceps or strained quadricep, whatever it was. If he doesn't come back, they might have to blow this whole thing up.
They may. I mean, it was when you first heard the news that they were letting go of Fox, and then there was a back and forth about, they also, let go of the whole staff. No, they told the staff to just, keep their options open, essentially. Mm. You're like, so what are they doing? But the more you look at it, the more, they went for the immediate gratification of, okay, we're going to put it all on the line and go for that Super Bowl right now, and it didn't happen. And I think that they probably were of the mindset, hey, if we have a Peyton Manning and he's healthy and we can get to the Super Bowl, then awesome. And if we can't, we're blowing it up and we're just going to do what we got to do to restart this engine from scratch.
Yeah, and Peyton is going to take a little time. I think they said he's going to go hunting with Eli or something like that. And no, Tony Dungy said that, sorry. And he just needs to let the Broncos know by free agency if he's coming back or not. He can't pull a Brett Favre here. Even though he has earned that, the Broncos deserve to know if they're loading up for one last push or if they're going to completely blow it up.
Yeah. It's a hard call to make, but I'm of the mindset when you run a multi-million-dollar organization, you plan for the future, and you know that if something doesn't happen by XYZ time, we have to go to contingency plan. Mm-hmm. And I feel that's probably what the Broncos are doing, and that they have an idea as to what they wanted before this happened. I think that John Elway saying the other day, we're going to begin thinking about candidates to replace John Fox is a big load of horse hooey, because come on, really? How can you have such a almost successful really most organizations would kill for 4 years as a division champion. So it can't be that successful and not have planned and be smart enough to get ahead of the ball. They've obviously been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah, and NFL head coaching hires, let's get a quick thumbs up or thumbs down from Claire and her rumbling stomach. When's the last time you eaten?
Yesterday.
What?
Time. I don't have time.
You're not a bagel person?
No, that's too carby.
Too carby. Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down from Claire and a rumbling stomach. The John Fox hiring is all but done in Chicago. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Sorry, John Fox. The first one in the cycle, Rex Ryan, hired by the Bills. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
More thumbs up.
I like that Rex has got his swagger back. I like that the shackles are off of Rex, and he knows that this is. He said in a couple of interviews that this is going to be his last job, win, lose, or draw, and I can't wait. Rex is going to do him. He's not going to be forced to throw the ball with the Geno Smith like he did with Izek, and he's just going to ground and pound this thing. Mark Sanchez is going to Buffalo, baby, and they're going to rock it.
It's going to be great. I mean, win, lose, or draw, it's going to be entertainment. Yeah. He's making the Bills relevant again.
And I like that. They do have good defensive personnel. I think they'll really love playing for Rex. They got Kiko Alonso back, which is amazing that they were that good last year without him. And on offense, they'll probably be anemic. I don't know if they'll re-sign C.J. Spiller. Fred Jackson is another year older and wiser and older. And they just have E.J. Manuel. I mean, what are they going to do? Bring in Sanchez? Maybe. What about Brian Hoyer, Christian Ponder, Jake Locker? Could be. And they don't have a first-round draft pick, so what are they going to do? Put up 6 points a game and win about 7 to 8 games.
There you go. Well, for a first year, I don't think that would be an awful outcome.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Rex, though. And plus, it'll be great drama. Him and Belichick get to play each other twice a year. And then him and the Jets. Now, I think a lot of Jets fans, they feel bad for Rex because I get the feeling that most Jet fans really love Rex except felt like a change was needed, but they still love Rex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that although very different characters, he's perceived much the way Gary Kubiak is in Houston. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. You knew what you're going to get with him. He was kind of hamstrung by people above, and so Rex he just seems like a fun guy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say good guy, but I kind of get the feeling he's a little skeezy behind, away from the camera, or maybe in front of the camera. I don't know. Rex is that kind of dude.
Well, him licking his wife's toes, that was on camera.
Yep, there you have it.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's interesting.
Dang, no, I have to look that up during the break. So where were we? Yeah, that pizza, though, that they gave him.
Was that frosting?
It looked like fondant. It looked a little gross. I mean, why was it blue?
Really?
Why was it blue?
It was blue. It was Buffalo blue.
It was Buffalo blue. Speaking of the Jets, Todd Bowles finally gets his bite at the apple. The longtime defensive coordinator recently of the Arizona Cardinals gets his first full-time NFL coaching job. It's about damn time. I'm very happy for Todd Bowles, and I think people wonder why are the Jets going defense when Rex is just a defensive guy. Except Todd Bowles, completely different personality than Rex. I think he'll bring a calmness, a little bit of a no nonsense to that locker room, and I just really hope he doesn't get LOL Jets done. And the new Jets GM is a former Texans guy, correct?
I mean, he found the GM guy, the Jets GM guy. I mean, he found J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was drafted. They weren't going to take J.J. Watt, though. The guys that they wanted ended up going earlier than they thought. So that was, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I'm saying it was kind of a fluke, let's be honest, that he landed in Houston.
You imagine if he took Nick Fairley instead?
I forget who all. There were 3 guys whose names were up there on the defensive side of the ball ahead of J.J. Watt for the Texans.
Well, now we got to look because I remember the quarterbacks exactly where they were taken because that's seared in my memory banks.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was Blaine Gabbert at 8, Jake Locker at 10, Christian Ponder at 12, and J.J. Watt at 11, Nick Fairley was 13. I want to say Von Miller was 2 that year after Cam Newton went number 1.
Mm-hmm.
To the Google. Yep, Von Miller number 2, Marcel Darius number 3 to Buffalo. Patrick Peterson, I guess it would be nice to have him.
Yep.
Alden Smith went 7 to San Francisco.
And Alden Smith, yep.
Excuse me, Locker and Gabbert were flipped. So
okay.
I guess that's not seared in my memory.
I think that people are not going to judge you for that. So. Yeah.
Ooh, Robert Quinn went 14. Baby.
Who would you rather have, J.J. Watt or Robert Quinn?
I don't know. Depends what type of defensive scheme I'm running. If I'm running a 4-3, I'd probably still take Watt. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I think I would take J.J. Watt no matter what, as he can play inside. He can edge rush. He did that a little bit more this year, and he's just all around.
He plays all over the line. I mean, you can put him wherever. I mean, he could probably play nose tackle if you need him to. Whatever.
All right, so that was the Todd Bowles talking point, and we ended up talking about J.J. Watt, of course.
Yeah, sorry.
Jack Del Rio hired by the Raiders. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Man, Jack Del Rio. Sorry, no, down. Thumbs down.
But he's Bay from the NFC South. Coaching the Jaguars for 8 years, only had 3 winning seasons. Whatever.
You don't care. It's okay. No worries. I know. I watched him coach the Jaguars. That team was lackluster and uninspired, and now he's going to the Raiders, a team who needs inspiration and a little bit of luster. I don't think so. I
think they're going to be looking for a new head coach in 2 years. But
I
do think that they want to have a head coach who's relatively safe. I think there is that until they get the new stadium done and then go all in on like a Gus Malzahn or someone.
Could be.
But why would Gus ever go there? Because he'll have his pick of NFL jobs. Why would he go to the Raiders?
I don't know. I mean, the Raiders. Good luck to them, man. Godspeed.
49ers elevate Jim Tomsula, their defensive line coach for the past couple of years under Harbaugh. Did have some head coaching experience in NFL Europe, but overall was the kind of
Yeah. And then there was that interview that came out. I don't know if you saw it. It was on CSN Bay Area, where they were asking him about his potential coordinators and whatever. And it was just the most awkward thing I've ever, maybe not ever witnessed, but man, if that's your head coach and he's going to be conducting press conferences for the next year or two, I don't know how long I'll give him. That's a little bit disconcerting to me.
Well, it sounds like all the players love him, and I'd rather have that than trying to win press conferences. And he's not exactly a neophyte because the Vikings actually interviewed Tomsula last year before they ended up hiring Zimmer. So he's been around a little bit, and I know when the 49ers were talking about trading Harbaugh to Cleveland that they would have elevated Tomsula if that trade went through. So,
but how about this?
Yeah.
You know that Harbaugh is leaving months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Tomsula is sitting under your nose. 3 weeks after Harbaugh leaves, we did this exhaustive search, and the guy you were exhaustively searching for was sitting right under your nose this whole time? Really?
So, yeah, I think they did that just so they didn't automatically turn it over to Tomsula so that if he didn't work out, the fans could gripe about that. But, they checked off all the boxes. They complied with the Rooney Rule, and then eventually they can sell to the fan base. We looked everywhere, under every single rock, for our next head coach, and he's right here. The best candidate is Jim Tomsula.
Yeah, well, congratulations, 49ers.
Who looks like Stan Van Gundy.
He looks like a man who can eat a meatball sub.
I wish I had $1 every time Jim Tomsula ordered the meatball parm.
$1 for every time.
Yep. The Broncos' head coaching job is open. They appear to be interviewing Doug Marrone. They've also talked to coordinator Adam Gase. Terrell Austin, the Lions defense coordinator, who seems in demand, but the musical chairs is starting to wrap up, recently withdrew his name from consideration. I have no idea who the Broncos are going to end up hiring.
Wait, you just missed their main candidate, Gary Kubiak.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the backup quarterback for John Elway.
I was going to let you get to it.
Jason Canfora actually came out recently, like this afternoon, and said something to the effect of that Gary Kubiak is Elway's main guy. And if he doesn't take it, then, backup plans are in effect. But they want Gary.
I was going to let you toss it off because Gary Kubiak
You're so sweet.
I know.
You're so sweet. I do really love him. And he is a good guy. And the only thing that's really concerning is what is Peyton Manning supposed to do under, the sort of scheme that Gary Kubiak runs?
Well, if Gary Kubiak goes to Denver, Peyton Manning retires, Matt Schaub, come on down.
Oh, God. That would be funny.
Shabba.
He believes in his job.
Actually, is he still under contract in Oakland?
Probably. No.
Oh, they're going to cut his ass, right?
He just had I think he's on the final year of his contract from Houston that they basically took on.
$10 million.
Yeah.
Probably.
It was pretty ridiculous.
And the Falcons appear to be waiting for Dan Quinn. It looks like because maybe Terrell Austin. I don't know. It just seems I haven't heard a lot from the Falcons head coaching search. I know Arthur Blank's late mother passed away. Oh, late mother, yes. His mother passed away. I know that impact the Rex Ryan potentially going to Atlanta process. And
is that what it was?
Yeah. They interviewed Rex, and unfortunately, Mr. Blank's mother passed away, and then Arthur wasn't going to be involved in the search until then. Rex was kind of worried if he didn't take the Bills job, burn the hand to the bush, whatever the saying is, and apparently didn't want to wait it out. And I think Dan Quinn, if I was betting, I would say Dan Quinn finally gets the Falcons job.
It could happen.
They're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but from what I saw earlier, they're really talking with Terrell Austin, and Terrell Austin apparently has a history of some sort with Adam Gase, and Gase is supposed to come with Terrell Austin if he gets the job as Falcons head coach.
Yep. And the Falcons are in a good position because they interviewed Dan Quinn during Wild Card Weekend, and the rule says if you do that during that window, then you can interview them during the week before the Super Bowl if that team goes that far. So the Broncos want to interview Dan Quinn as well, except during Wild Card Weekend they obviously had an intact staff. Did not interview Dan Quinn, so they're kind of behind the 8 ball in that respect.
Yeah.
But they're all in on Kubiak, so.
Well, I can see Adam Gase being very interested in the personnel that's available on the Falcons' offensive roster.
We're talking about Adam Gase. When did he become the cat's meow?
He just seems in high demand. I don't know that he's necessarily the cat's meow. I think that Peyton Manning ran a significant part of that offense.
Yeah, and plus Peyton Manning got Mike McCoy that job in San Diego too. And he's been doing pretty well out in San Diego. Saved Phillip Rivers' career from no